Hey guys, welcome to day 8 of the January 2K challenge at Body Development. So, yesterday I did a wrap up of my week 1 and I was feeling pretty positive about everything. I've recently now a little bit more confused. I've taken a look at the numbers because essentially what the group has is you report average calories in, average calories out, and what your deficit is based on that. And the weird thing that I found is that if I add up all the calories that I ate, and then deduct everything that I burned, my number comes out different from what my watch is reporting as my average deficit, which is saying you've undereaten by 206 calories off your goal, which is already set at a 500 deficit. So you're like 760 calories under, which is fine. It's only 200 calories is a lot closer. But when doing the averages based on just adding it all up, I'm coming at a deficit of only 365. So I've either undereaten or overeaten. And obviously to correct that problem, you can only do one of those two actions. You can either eat more or you can eat less. So I've actually shot a message over to one of the PTs and tried to do a bit of research about it, looking into the actual stats on the PC as well, because I connected my watch up and taking a look. And the amount that I've actually burned seems to definitely line up with that 700 deficit number, but just like looking at the raw data, just like the raw numbers, it's actually very stressful because I can kind of understand why people get obsessed over the numbers and that. And really, it doesn't matter. You should be looking at what's happening on the scale, how you feel about your body. But when you're working really hard towards a goal, it can be really stressful when you've either overshot your goal, undershot your goal, and in order to get better, you need to do conflicting actions. So yeah, I've been really stressed about that actually, more so than I would have thought. But we'll see what we'll see what data I'm supposed to be using, and then I'll start working towards that. I woke up this morning. I was really hungry. What was interesting about last night's big FI meal, and I think that's the reason I'm more stressed, is that I was so far under on the calories based on the data I was using that I ate that kilo of chicken thighs when I actually even thought about, I only need to eat about 500 of these, right? And then I did the math and was like, oh no, if I eat the whole thing, then the averages will balance out. But that would have actually been the meal that overshot my averages just using just using like adding everything up and then dividing it by 7. That meal would have actually overshot my average deficit to be lower than my target. So I've either used the wrong data and then thought I had more room for calories, or I didn't. I've got to learn to not beat myself up over that, but it's something we'll figure out. But the long and short of it is, this morning I felt really hungry and a little bit tired in the morning. But interestingly, last night I didn't have any form of carbohydrates or at all with my dinner. I didn't have. All I had was the chicken thighs, and normally I'd like have like an avocado, or I'd have something else like a bit of chocolate as well. But I had half the chocolate for lunch yesterday. So this morning, a little bit down, but like body picked up pretty quickly. It wasn't like you get that real blood sugar low where you just like feel like all of your energy's gone. So yeah, we're not doing too badly. Stress, hoping to get a few answers. I'll also can turn to the good people of Reddit and see if they. I say good people of Reddit. We know there's no good people on Reddit. There's like one or two, and then there's a lot of people who aren't so great. And besides, we all know the fastest way to get an answer to your question on the internet is to answer the question you want to ask with a wrong answer first, and let the people correct you. So yeah, we'll check out with them. We'll check out with the PTs, and we'll make adjustments either to keep our eating around more or less. I'm thinking based on because our average burn is coming out at about 2,800 a day, including all activities and resting calories, versus how much I was eating, which is 24, which puts me a little bit under. So I should be probably aiming to eat about 2,300 a day if all goes according to plan and we stick it around those ranges. So we're going to aim until I'm told otherwise, that's what we're going to aim for. We're going to aim to eat 23, and we're going to aim to keep our burn about 2,800 average. And we'll keep tracking our data on the scale. Our weight's gone down from where we were at the start of this challenge, and so we're making steps in the right direction. It's just a case of I really only want to keep the calories down to about 500 deficit. I'm looking to lose this weight quite like slowly over time. I'm not in a rush. I've got till summer, and I don't want to liquidate muscle mass. Anyway, so this has been almost a bit ranty, but we're at it, and I'll show you some of the meals today. We went to a new supermarket. We actually went to Marks and Spencer's, and we picked up a lot more chicken thighs, pork. We didn't get any beef this week, and our bill was shockingly, well, not shockingly, but considerably cheaper. It was about £20, I think I got for a whole week's worth of shopping, all 7 days, and that included getting avocados. Actually, that's not true. I didn't buy all 7 avocados because avocados have this thing where they will just ripen to death. So before you even get to day 7, so I'm gonna have to go back and buy 2 more avocados for the weekend. But it's there was other things. I couldn't get new potatoes there either, or parsnips. But there was a nice little food stall directly outside. Some guy, a market seller. So I grabbed a kilo's worth of parsnips, and also I asked for a kilo of new potatoes, and the guys jipped me and told me 800 grams. So I got back and I measured it on the scale, and I was like, next time, just they look really good. So I'll just take my own scale over next time. Next time he puts the bag down, I'll just get it out and be like, oh, mate, you're trying to jip me for 200 grams? What is this? Fill the bag. Call him out on the spot. Don't take that kind of stuff from anybody. All right, but yeah, overall, that would mean our shopping is for this week is planned at around 24. Actually, after adding avocado, 25, 26, about £26, because we have leftover chocolate from last week, because obviously we didn't eat it every day. We got it quite late into it, so I've got like the whole week's worth sorted out. So, I mean, if I added that on, then it's essentially 3.5 bars. Yeah, so it's about under £30 essentially, which is a lot more reasonable for a cut. And this is Marks and Spencer's. And Marks and Spencer's, for those of you that aren't watching from the UK or have no idea, because it's quite an upmarket supermarket. It's like one of the more expensive ones. Like if we had a tier list, we'd have like Waitrose and Marks and Spencer's at the top, Sainsbury's underneath that. Then you've got like Asda, Tesco, and then you've got Lidl underneath that. But we like Lidl because Lidl is like very, very cheap. It's just, there's certain things you just shouldn't get in there because it's like the pasta sauces and stuff like that. They're too watery, but the price is perfect. I can do a week shopping in there on my normal diet for around £30. Versus like if you try and do that in like Marks and Spencer's, you're probably looking at like 60, 70 or on average. So yeah, that's a quick wrap up for the start of the day. We've got a workout session this evening. I think we're doing Metcon kettlebell with cards, sorry. I hated the cards one when we did that back in November. It's very intense. Essentially, what happens is each face of a card, each of the suits, there it is, each of the suits of a card has a exercise associated with it, and whatever face is drawn from the deck of cards is how many reps of that exercise that you do. But because the deck is being shuffled, you have no idea what could come out. So you could get like a Queen of Spades, then a King of Spades, and that could be press-ups, and you end up doing like 20 press-ups immediately, and in between each one you're just running at a very moderate speed. And then you could end up getting like a 7 of Spades, which could be, you know, more of the same exercise, or you could end up getting a good mix, or you'll find out all the exercises that you hate are the ones that you draw all the high numbers of. So you could be like looking at goblet squats, you're getting like all the face cards for those, and then something that's a little bit, I say a little bit easier. Obviously, when you do it all together, it's really challenging, but it's a hell of a workout. So I think that's tonight, because what we did last Monday was a little bit different with a kettlebell, but we'll see when we get there. Not too fast. I trust in the process. All right, guys, that's me out. I'll catch you a little bit later when lunch is ready. Guys, this is meal 1 for day 8. We have 250 grams of new potatoes, 1 large avocado, and 350 grams of thick cut pork loin. Yeah, this is looking really good. Pretty standard at this point. It comes in at about just over 1,000 calories. We also have 25 grams of dark chocolate, which I haven't broken off yet. So yeah, we're looking at about 1,100 calories right there. So if we're trying to get up to 2,300, our next meal we need to get ourselves up about 1,200. And then that will get us exactly in the range that I'm anticipating based on the first week's worth of results to give us that 500 deficit, counting in the fact that we're already set at a 500 deficit and our exercise is going to be burning off around 400 a day. So yeah, let's get at it. And this is meal two for today. So we have just 100 grams of new potatoes. We have 230 grams of parsnips and 330 grams of chicken thighs. Sorry, it took me a minute to remember exactly what I'm looking at here. But all in all, this brings my total daily calories up to about 2,200. We burned off about 300 from our walking, from a bit of walking we did earlier, because we had to run to the post office, which is quite far away. But overall, we should be a lot closer to hitting a 500 deficit. Now that we know that we're aiming for about 2,800 a day in activity, it means we can start planning to eat about 2,300 to get to our 500 deficit that we're looking for. Yeah, we're still basing ourselves on the consumption that we set the target for 1,888, and then that's already at a 500 deficit. If we're going to work out for the amount that we're going to work out, we just got to make sure that we're leading it up. But we're going to make the calculation much more simple. I'll talk a little bit about it later. I got a bit more feedback from my PTs, and I'll talk about exactly how we're going to change up our calculations for our weekly reviews a little bit later. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy this. Hey guys, it's time to wrap up day 8 of the 2K Club Challenge. Now for you guys, you probably hear me shout out 2K Challenge so often in these videos, and I got to keep in mind that my day goes through and I get to start the video, and I can, when this is all edited together, it's just probably going to sound like I'm saying 2K, 2K, 2K. So we're going to work on that a little bit through these videos, so I don't have to keep reminding you. But today's been a really good day. Overall, my energy levels have been pretty good. I have felt hungry a few times, like especially this morning when I woke up. I was actually really hungry, and I was really frustrated about the calculations because I thought I got everything right, and then went back through and did some more math and looked at it a different way. One way of calculating the calories was telling me to eat more, and one way was telling me to eat less. So that's obviously conflicting information. So I spoke to my PT today, and their recommendation was to disconnect the MyFitnessPal from the Garmin app, as that's giving me a bunch of stats and it's not clear. It wasn't as clear to me which stats I should be using, and they just said to go with the basic model. Use MyFitnessPal. Whatever goes in, you count that, and then whatever goes out on the Garmin app, you just deduct that from in, and then you figure out what your deficit is, and you do that each day. We won't end up in a situation where I get to Sunday and I'm like, oh, I'm massively behind on calories. We're gonna have to just panic dump these. But today was actually pretty good. Our total calories in was 2233. Our total calories out was 2848, and that leaves us with a deficit of 615, just slightly over our target of 500, within the acceptable range, which is great. It was perfect. And our total meal costs today was basically nothing in comparison to when we were at Sainsbury's on steak. The chicken thighs have been a huge game changer. Like Marks and Spencer's in the UK is like a very upmarket supermarket, and to be able to sort of just pick up a whole week's worth of shopping for about £24 is good. And so I can only imagine if I went to somewhere like Lidl or that, how little I can get the bill down to keep up on those calories. But it's definitely looking like I should be shooting for 2,300 calories, and we should be working off the 28. I keep saying we in these videos. Funny enough, it's kind of a weird thing. I don't know if anybody else does this, but like I always have this thing where I think of my body and my mind as two different things. So I always say we. It's kind of weird. Or we're all on an adventure together. But obviously it's me that's starving myself to get the Chad bod, not you guys. You guys can enjoy this with some takeaway or something. But all in all, I'm feeling really positive. I'm a little bit hungry now, which is a bit of a shame because I'm about to go to bed. It's 11 o'clock here, but I'll be okay. Like it'll pass. Like I've said before, I've not had any of the really low blood sugar like dips that I used to get. You could be just going through and then all of a sudden just like you feel almost sick, but at the same time just sort of like you kind of leaning forward, like you've got no energy, but you're feeling a bit sick. Those were the really bad low blood sugar points, but I've not had that at all. I get hunger pangs, but none of it's been severe enough to the point where I can't work efficiently or record these videos or work out. Like my workouts have been okay. They haven't really gone down in quality at all, as far as I can tell. My trainers haven't started shouting at me, telling me I'm crap yet. So all's good. So that's going to wrap up today. We're going to keep at it through this week, and we'll keep you guys updated. And yeah, more progress. Looking forward to our next weigh-in and seeing where if we can get that down to 75.3 kilos is our target on the scale when we weigh in, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get there. Hopefully we don't drop as much as we did last week. That was way too much, too fast, and we don't want to be burning off muscle mass. And I also hope I don't get sick of chicken thighs, because I have a lot of them this week. So we're going to be eating a lot of that. We got a lot of pork as well. I did get some regular chicken breasts to mix it up a little bit. I try not to make sure I eat two of the same things in the same day. I'm pretty confident we're going to make this work. And yeah, so guys, that's me out for today. Have a good one, and we'll see you in the next video. Good morning, guys. We are here for day 9 of the 2K challenge at Body Development. So some quick updates. Yesterday we hit our goal very, very close to it. We were about 615 calorie deficit, which is about the range we want to be in, which will also, if we maintain that every day, we roughly end up offsetting the bit that we were under last week, which is actually really cool. I don't really need to. I mean, it was one of those things where I was really unhappy that I was kind of disappointed that I'd tried so hard and then missed my goal, when really I was still in a significant deficit. It was just because I misread the data. It wasn't because I wasn't trying hard enough or anything. I made a mistake, and it didn't, the stats just kind of reflected that at the end of the week. But yeah, this morning I woke up feeling really, really hungry, really low energy actually today. I'm kind of struggling a little bit, but it's not as bad as I've ever felt, but it's still kind of a little bit wonky. But we are coming up on lunchtime real soon. Our goal, well, today we're going to be eating the same food as we ate yesterday. I pretty much bought all the same stuff, and then for consistency's sake, it should end up being that we eat around, what was it, 2,200 calories today? Maybe more, maybe less, slightly over and under, and then that will leave us in around the deficit that we're aiming for. But yeah, overall mood is hungry and a little bit tired. I'm my own worst enemy when I'm trying to go to bed early, and you end up scrolling on like your phone or something for too long, or you're playing games and you just end up going to bed way too late. And I need to really force myself to be going to bed at around 11. I need to actually switch all the screens off before then, because I'm finding that like I'm struggling to sleep. It's for a while, and I have been getting the 8 hours sleep. It's just I really want to get myself to be going out for a walk in the mornings, get a little bit of exercise from that, just stretch my legs, stretch out, get a little bit of sun. Although that said, I'm looking out the window right now and it's really grey today. As much sun as you can get in England, but just like sort of just doing a bit more than rolling out of bed and then walking over to my work PC, switching that on and getting ready for a day's worth of work, going through emails and stuff. But we're still doing good. I haven't ran to the fridge and start immediately trying to gorge myself on stuff, so I'll take that as a good sign, and we'll keep at it, hoping our body burns some of that body fat just to keep us going. All right, I'll check in with you and you can see the meals. Like I said, they're going to be the same as yesterday, but just for consistency's sake, we'll include them on today's video. All right, peace out. Okay guys, we're eating exactly the same thing that we ate yesterday. 1 large avocado, 250 grams of new potatoes, 350 grams of thick cut pork loins, and 25 grams of dark chocolate. Really enjoyed this meal yesterday. Just over 1,000 calories with this as well. it's just great. Honestly, it leaves me feeling nice and full. And later we'll have chicken thighs. We're just gonna do exactly what we did yesterday. That worked perfectly. And most of my shopping is going to lead me to having these kind of samey meals, so not too much to say. Here we are, guys, with dinner today. We have 420 grams of chicken thighs and we have 287 grams of parsnip. So interestingly, the chicken thighs, just because of the size they came out, a bit more than yesterday, which is 333. But this actually comes out and brings us up to 2200 calories. So this is going to be our stopping point. So no chocolate today, or with this meal. This kind of actually really interesting. I've only used water. I've not used any oils or anything. But of course, the juices from the meat, I put the parsnips and the chicken on the same tray to cook. So it's not actual oil there, if that's what you're thinking. It's just, yeah, bit of chicken juice. Anyway, gonna get into this, and I've got a training session coming up real soon. Speak to you soon, guys. Hey guys, we're here at the end of day 9. So pretty good day overall. Our total calories in was 2,244. Our total calories out was 2,683. Leaving us at a nice deficit of 439, pretty close to that 500 number, within the acceptable range. We still got a little bit of time left on today as well, so our body's probably naturally burning a little bit. It's what, like 11:30 now. By the time I sort of like wind down, maybe body burns off about another 50 more. It's usually about 100 an hour, so that'll be like maybe 50 more. So we're going to be very, very close to our goal today. So yeah, no, really, really good day. Tough training session. Food same as Monday. It worked. So the only difference that I had Monday is I did go out. I had to run out to the store in the middle of the day, so I had a bit more walking on there, and I'm gonna guess if I'm gonna eat at 22, 23, to try and make sure I get that 500 or just over the 500. I'd prefer to be just slightly over than just under, to be honest. I'm gonna need to just do a bit more walking during the day. I mean, I could just right now set the cardio on, do jumping jacks for maybe 5-10 minutes, but we're so close, it's not worth worrying about stuff like that. And getting all pumped up right before I go to bed is probably going to affect my sleep, so not worth it. We're keeping on top of our hydration. We're drinking that 2.25 liters a day, so that's definitely, it's difficult, right? Because I constantly keep feeling the need that I need to pee. And it's a bit difficult when I'm trying to work that around my work schedule, where if I've got meetings, for example, I don't really want to be worrying about dipping out of those meetings. So I do find myself trying to time when I'm drinking around stuff that's going on. But the problem I then have is I'll get to the end of the day and I could be behind as much as 2 liters. And then it's just like, oh God, okay, I'm just gonna have to just, right after my training in that. And it's like, I don't want to just like drink 2 liters in the space of an hour or so after training. It's just a little bit too much. But we're just keeping at it, making sure we're staying on top. We're drinking a lot more than we used to, and it's apparently it helps. I'm not sure entirely of all the benefits of it, but I've been told just drink lots and lots of water. What else to report today? Yeah, up until lunchtime, I was really, really hungry. Problem that I had today is I had a meeting at around 12 o'clock, and that's usually when my 18-hour fast end is like 12 till 6. So if I'm in the middle of a meeting and then I get out and then start my lunch break and have to cook the food, I kind of end up like getting really hungry because I'm then pushing my 18-hour fast into 19 hours in some cases. The only other thing with cooking new potatoes and parsnips and these kind of things is they take like 30 minutes in the oven when you're trying to do it with no oil. It just adds on quite a bit of time. And of course, because the plate sizes are also quite large, you're eating for quite a little bit longer than I'm used to. I'm used to just eating like really, really fast, like food, just wolfing it down and getting on with my day. But the plate sizes are a lot bigger, so just taking it a bit slower, and it's taking a bit longer to prepare as well. I could meal prep. I could cook just a whole bunch of the potatoes, then balance them out, and then put everything else into trays, and then just microwave them up. That would probably be a great way of doing this. I've meal prepped in the past. I used to do it I used to do it every week on a Sunday. I spent about 2 hours doing it, and then I stopped after I got food poisoning. I used to prep 5 days at a time, and that's just a little bit too many. Like, there's just too many days, and something could just go wrong. And I got really bad food poisoning. I think it was from rice actually. either way, not a good story, and not something I'm in a rush to do again. If I ever do meal preps again, it'd probably be a maximum like three days at a time. I think is probably, I'll feel safer. It'll probably just get used to it over time, where you're just like, yeah, okay, I can push this to 4 days, 5 days again. But I think 5 days is just a little bit too long on the preps. So that's going to wrap up today. I'm going to go take myself to sleep, get a nice 8 hours in, and get up and do the whole same cycle again tomorrow. So we're almost coming up to the halfway point, actually. 10.5 days. So not tomorrow, but halfway through Thursday, we will literally be halfway to the finish line. My review is probably going to be a little bit different this week, because I'm going to be away, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get an opportunity to shoot on the day. But worst case, what I'll do is I'll track all the stats, then I'll do the wrap up video after I get back on the Monday. For you guys, it's not, you're not even going to notice a difference in terms of when it gets posted. It's just like, yeah, I'll just do it that way because it's probably a bit easier. All right, well, keep at it, keep on your training, and hopefully your meals are going well and you're staying on top of things. And I'll catch up with you all real soon. Peace out. Hey guys, good morning for day 10 of the January 2K challenge. I'm clearly here in Silent Hill. Look at that fog. It's mad, you can't really see, I can barely see to the end of the bridge. But yeah, today, moods overall pretty good. Yeah, doing alright. Haven't eaten yet, gonna start cooking food real soon. Feeling pretty energized to go about my day. I am a bit concerned about tonight's class. It's FIT, which is a really, really intense cardio session. So it's basically like a circuit of a couple of different exercises. It'll be, for example, like goblet squats, then immediately into work with a medicine ball, then immediately into dips, and immediately into stuff. It basically just cycles through all that. If you've done the class at Body Development, you'll know what I'm talking about. But for anyone else, yeah, it's a very intense kind of HIIT-like session. I always feel like completely knackered at the end of that, but I can just always come back here and then just relax. So yesterday we were a little bit under on the calories. It was fine. It was within the acceptable range. The only difference I'd make is I didn't go out for a big walk, a larger walk that I did the previous day when I had to run to the store. So that was probably what kind of offset it just a little bit. But with that in mind, we can just make adjustments and yeah, keep on it. And I'll show you some of the food that we're going to be eating a little bit later when it comes up. But hope you guys have a great day, and let's get to it. And this is lunch for today. Meal one, we have 172 grams of avocado. We have 350 grams of thick cut pork loin, 273 grams of new potatoes, and 25 grams of dark chocolate. All in all, this one comes out at 1200 calories, so really, really dense. Great, we just got about 1,000 left to eat for the day, and we should be dead on target with our workout. Although I will keep in mind that since this session's a lot heavier, it's likely that I'm going to have a bigger burn today. So we'll probably I'm not going to mess around with the formula too much, but once I get sort of to grips with how much I'm burning on a workout that's not fit versus a day that I have fit, then I can make some calculations. But all in all, really looking forward to eating this, and I'll check in with you guys with the next meal of the day. And here we are, guys, with meal 2 of day 10. So we're just having 400 and some change grams of chicken thigh, and we've got some amount of parsnips. I'll do the mouthful up later. I'm really hungry because I've got a session I've got to get to in about 30 minutes, and it's FIT, which is going to kill me. But all in all, this brings our total daily calories up to 2,300. So we're looking to get our total burn to 2,800 today to keep us in that 500 range. All right, guys, catch you in a bit for the wrap up. Guys, we've made it to the end of day 11. Wait, is it day 11 or is it day? No, it's day 10. It's day 10. Losing a little bit track of time, but it was a really good day. Overall, felt hungry. I felt really hungry around the end of the fast time, which is usual, but nothing like real low dips where I didn't feel like getting up and doing anything. Didn't affect my work or anything else I had to do. Workout still went pretty good. We had FIT, which is by far the hardest class I think I've done in body development. To be fair, I've not done any of the calisthenics or the boxing, so it's a little bit hard to say. And there's also the Metcon with cards, which I talked about a little bit before in an earlier video, so you can go back and check that one out. But yeah, we got through the session, went really well. Today's calorie totals, we ate 2310. The calories out that we burned off was 2787, so our total deficit is 477, which is quite close to that 500. So what I prefer to get a little bit over the 500 to try and get that average in. And of course, it's probably good to round up or down on some of these numbers because it's not exact. I'm not eating exactly every gram of meat off of the bones and that for the chicken thighs. Speaking of which, chicken thighs are actually becoming a bit of a challenge. They're so calorie dense. I think what I need to do is actually eat the chicken thighs first because I've been saving them for the second meal. And by the time I weigh them out, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find two that sort of fit to about 300 because they seem to be like coming out a bit higher than that, closer to 400 grams, and they're so calorie dense. I could also ease up on some of the carbs. I was talking to the PTs and they said to keep in mind that that dropping your carbs could result in you feeling like really sluggish or your workouts getting worse. So my carb count is pretty low. It's like around 15% of my daily intake is carbohydrates. I usually stick within my macro goals on that and maybe go 6 grams over at most. But yes, doing good. So what I could do just to make that 100 is I could just not eat the dark chocolate. That's a definite positive. What would probably be a better idea is to save the dark chocolate for the evening meal, have the thighs as meal 1 tomorrow, and have the chicken, have the chocolate to sort the calories out, and try and get the calories down to about 2200 maximum. In fact, technically, we could aim for 2100 maximum, to be fair, as our total today is we're hitting about 2800, but we could aim for about 21 just to sort of like balance out and make sure that our average is going to come out to 500 deficit per day. And then end of this week will bring us to the second week of the 2K club, and that means we're officially halfway. The 2K club is a 21-day challenge. We're going to be taking on longer than that, to going through February, March, and we'll see how long it takes to get us down to the cut look that I want to go for. If it's working, we'll know for sure when we get our scans back at the end of the month. But I'm feeling pretty good. Looking at the scale, it's come down a lot from where I was already, and even if I take off the extra calories from eating before the scan and all the water and that for the day, I'm still pretty confident that we made a pretty big drop and that we're gonna at the very least hit the 2K goal. It's just a case of sticking to it, and I'm getting better with calculating what's going in and what's going out, which is definitely something that takes a bit of practice. When you just get used to like measuring out your food and knowing what to eat and planning it ahead. That's one of the key things. It's like one of the challenges I had when I was originally doing this was like, well, what am I going to eat? Like, what do I get from the supermarket? And of course, the first time you could see that on my shopping list. It's lots of steaks, lots of very expensive materials and meats, and it ended up making my shopping bill incredibly high, and I wasn't eating enough. So what we've done now is the chicken thighs has been the biggest hack, because they're so calorie dense, is that's brought our bills down significantly because they're really cheap, apparently. I've got some regular chicken breasts as well in the fridge, so I'll probably will be eating those instead of pork, so we'll see how that's going to affect the calorie counts. But overall, mood's good, energy's good, workouts, PTs haven't come up and said you're right or you're falling behind or anything like that. So I think we're on track. I'm gonna go get my sleep, and I'm gonna catch up with you guys tomorrow for day 11, which will be, well, about halfway through the day will be official halfway point, but it's not halfway for us. We've still got a long way to go. Anyway, peace out. Catch you tomorrow. Hey, morning guys. Here we are on day 11 of the January 2K Club for body development. So just out having a bit of a walk, figured we'd get away from the couch to do at least one or two of these. Today, my mood was a little bit down, oddly, this morning. I don't know what that is. probably nothing. There's nothing really going on in my life that would make me feel that way. So maybe just need more sleep, or yeah, maybe feeling the lack of carbs or something. I'm not entirely sure what to put that on, but we're out walking about now and I'm feeling a lot better. Funny enough, eating as little as I have been and compared to how much I'm working out is not it's weird because it's hard to tell for me what's affecting me. I guess I'll probably look back on these vlogs after it's all said and done, and then I'll know for sure, because I can compare it to my regular day. Hang on, if we... Oh, that made it worse. That made the sunlight a lot worse. Yeah, so today we got up, we were actually out having a walk. It's pretty frosty. Really just getting a bit of exercise in. It's all good. So the plan today, eat around 2200 calories and try and burn off around, keep our burn around 2800. So that should then even us out for the few days that we were slightly under. But doing good. It's right before lunch. I'm starving, so I'm going to finish this walk up and get back, and I'll show you guys what we're going to be eating today. Okay guys, this is meal 1 of the day for day 11. We have 325 grams of chicken thighs and 176 grams of parsnips. So this is a little bit lighter on the calories compared to some of the other meals I've been eating, and the idea being that the chicken thigh being the most calorie dense meal, we're going to put that first, and then we're going to see how much we need to eat later and make that up. So we're going to need to eat about 1200 calories by the end of the day. This meal comes in at about 1050 or something like that. So about 1200 below where we want to be, but that's completely fine because we've got the avocado, we've got the dark chocolate, we've got the new potatoes, and we've got chicken breast for later. So we can really make up that 1200. And yeah, feeling pretty good. Going to tuck in right now, and I'll catch up with you guys with the next meal, meal 2. And this is meal 2 for day 11. We have 317 grams of new potatoes, 350 grams of mini chicken fillets, and 1 avocado. The avocado is starting to get a bit old, as I mentioned in an earlier video. They don't last that long, so you can't kind of buy them that far out. This one's already kind of gone a bit black and looks a little bit gross, but we're going to eat it anyway because I'm hungry. Yeah, overall, I think avocados generally keep them around 4 days. And they're perfect, and after that they go downhill like instantly. So probably plan to just buy 4 and then go out and pick up 3 more for the weekend. But all in all, this meal brings us up to just over 2000 calories. So we're actually running a little bit more of a deficit. I haven't added the chocolate, but adding the chocolate on brings us up to about 2100, which is where we wanted to be today. It gives us a good goal and a good point to help us catch up on some of the days where we've overeaten just slightly. Although we're all within acceptable ranges, things are going well. Looking forward to this one. Hey guys, it's time for a wrap up of day 11 of the 2K Club Challenge January 2022. Today, overall very, very good day. Food was a little bit less than what I normally eat. I kind of held back a little bit because we've been running just a little bit under the 500 deficit we wanted to go for Tuesday and Wednesday. Interestingly, today's stats, we ate 2047 calories, we burned 3072 calories, which leaves us at a deficit of 1025. So I was using my my Garmin watch to track the activity that I was doing at the gym. Unfortunately, I was trying to let it run for like an hour afterwards, and I completely forgot to close it, so end the workout. So when I went to check it, it was like, hey, you've burned 1000 calories for this workout, because it thought I'd left it on for like 2-3 hours. Obviously, that's not correct. So I ended up having to scrub that. So I lost the data for that workout, but heart rate and various things like that's been tracked, and sort of it's made a calculation that I hit about 3072 on the deficit. Usually those workouts seem to be about 400 to 600, depending on how intense they are. So if probably hitting around that 2800 mark again, and probably more like an 800 deficit in total. But we'll just track it by the numbers that it says rather than the estimations. General mood right now, to be honest, I'm hungry. I'd eat. If I wasn't on the 18-hour fast, I'd probably grab a snack at this point. I'm not entirely sure. Like, I'm not like starving, like where I've got it. It's like kind of like, oh, I could eat sort of thing. Coming up on the second week of no drinking as well. That's super interesting. I kind of miss it. That's the thing. Like I really enjoy like rum and Diet Coke. The problem is, from what I've heard, that Diet Coke or Coke Zero, eventually the artificial sweeteners end up just as bad for you as sugar, as you end up metabolizing the same. I don't know if that's like bro science or anything, but in the long run, drinking that stuff is just not good for you. It wrecks your teeth as well. Apparently, the acid is just as bad as sugar. In fact, it's worse in some cases. So, I'm doing a world of good from it, but it's kind of like it just kind of missed the buzz just a little bit every now and again. Now, if you're training at home or something and you want to have a drink, then by all means do it. Like depriving yourself of these things can just make you miserable. You got to make some sacrifices, but at the same time, if you try to go too harsh, you can give up. I think a big part of the reason I'm able to stick to this is just because I want to see what happens, and these vlogs are helping me keep my focus on that, because I know if I cheat and I eat something outside of those hours or do it, then all of the vlogs and everything I've written, all the data I've tracked right now, is not going to be as relevant when I get to the end. And we're halfway through January, and then we'll have some good enough stats to check and see what we want to change up over the next couple of months. But I'd like to get through this whole thing without cheating in any way, without alcohol, without switching to dairy, without adding oils, processed seeds or grains, and kind of keeping this carnivorous diet. So yeah, we're just going to keep at it and doing some workouts. I need to work on one of the exercises that we did today was using a Swiss ball. It's one of those big like bouncy balls. You probably spot them in Pure Gym or something like that. You sort of lay on it and you're doing a bench press with one side. So it's essentially just this up over the chest. I'm trying to learn to do it with kettlebells, and the problem I've got with the 12 kettlebell is my wrist keeps like twisting, and then I'm kind of like losing balance on the ball when I'm trying to do it. Apparently, you've got to keep it like a spear, and it comes with a bit of forearm strength. So probably going to have to practice that exercise quite a bit, because in the class I did find we have these like adjustable dumbbells. If you're a member of Body Development, you know what we're talking about. And the whole stack is too light for me doing press. It's not challenging me, but the kettlebell, because of my wrist bending and stuff, I'm kind of like losing my balance on the ball and trying to do the press, and I'm not really feeling the exercise as much in my chest as I'd like. And a huge part of it is strain is going into the shoulder, and that where I'm trying to balance myself and force my core to hold myself stable. Some things I could probably do with that is have my legs more open whilst I do that. I'm used to doing a bench press with more legs open. Ultimately, you want to get to the point on the Swiss ball where your legs are close together and then you're pressing the weight and you're using your core to stabilize. But for us to progress on the weights and get used to using the kettlebell, it's just going to take some practice. It's just going to take a little bit of time. We went up on weights as well on our single arm row Romanian deadlifts. So that was interesting. I could definitely feel the weight went up. I always, when trying to keep the pace, worry about like feeling it in my lower back just a little bit, where it's just a case of trying to keep your chest up when you come down so that you don't like round your back or curl your back when you're doing the row, and then you're pulling, trying to make the shoulder blades touch at the back. So that's I was quite happy that I managed to go up on that. The squats, I always struggle with squats. Like in terms of an exercise that will really knacker you out, squatting, goblet squats are just like really tough. I put the weight up for the first round of the circuit, and then the second round I had to switch down to a lower weight because it was just a case of like I was struggling to keep up with the class. And even then, I wasn't keeping the pace of how we were trying to keep it. So it was essentially down for one, and then you come up quarter, and then you go down again, and you stand up. And I was struggling to keep up. I mean, my first set with the heavier weight was fine, but then by that point, when lactic acid started settling in, and my whole respiratory system is like going mad, saying, "Hey, you're tired. You want to catch your breath for a second?" It was tough. But yeah, I mean, if you guys, if you're not familiar with Body Development or something, I do link their YouTube channel below, so you can check out and see what kind of workouts they are, and you get a bit of an idea of what we're doing, because it's not like traditional how I'm used to doing the gym. Like I've said before, I was very much main core lifts, so your deadlifts, bench presses, weighted pull-ups, and stuff like that. And this is like a lot more intense. There's a lot more cardio. The rest timers are a lot shorter, and it's it's definitely been a very different way of training from what I'm used to. I'm actually kind of wondering like if overall my bench press, my actual squats, my deadlifts, if those are actually going to go up or if they are technically going to go down, because I'm used to using a lot more weight on that for those exercises than what we're doing here. But I'm also using different rest timers, different equipment, different styles. But yeah, I feel like a overall pretty good day. It's just gone 11 o'clock now. The walk that we went on added on about 200 calories, which brings us up to 3,000 burn, which is kind of what we were expecting. It generally means, yeah, it would be correct to stay within the around 2,200 calories on Monday to Friday, and then 1888 on the weekend, maybe a little bit more if I go for a walk or something. What's actually really interesting is you don't even have to go for like that long a walk, really, just like 30-40 minutes, and you can burn like about 200 calories, which is quite a lot when you consider like an intense training session, maybe 500-600 for really pushing yourself to your absolute limits, versus just a more of a casual stroll or something. Maybe just do that every morning. I mean, that's just different ways. Like if you're just in the beginning stages and you just want to start with the diet, you're not ready to start training or something, you can just do, when you want to start like adding in a little bit more of a bit more exercise, that's always a good thing, because something I learned with a close friend of mine is he wanted to just lose weight, and I sort of went with him through my fitness pal with him, explained to him how the calories, and said to him, look, you can eat whatever you want as long as you stay under these numbers. He used a calculator to figure it out and said, as long as you stay under that number, you will lose weight. Will you feel great if you eat pizza and that? It's like, no. But, you know, you've also got to keep in mind that you're going to eat a lot less actual food if you do stock up on pizza. So I recommend more healthy. He came down from over 100 kilos down to about 85, 86. He actually did start training in the end when he felt a lot better. He started like not having knee trouble and stuff. So on the very base level, if you do the math and just less calories, eating at a deficit, you will drop weight, and then you can add a walk into that as well to make it a little bit easier. Or if you want to just take that as extra losses, or if you just want to do the walk and then so you can eat just a little bit more food, just so you feel a little bit more full. It's all possible, but it's reassuring when I see when I saw what my friend went through with that, and how he feels about himself and stuff. Like I'm kind of determined to stick to this, because it was something where I was like checking in with him and helping him stick to his diet. And so I really want to see this through to see what the effects is going to be on me, because this is very different. Like I've already said, it's very different from the training I've done before, and I kind of hit plateaus, and I'm really hoping that this time we can push through that and we can make some real progress. So yeah, let's wrap it up here, and we'll catch up tomorrow for day 12. We're over the halfway point at this stage for January, and once we get to the end of there, we'll do a bit of a review, and then we'll keep it through and keep going until we get to 15% body fat or below that, and then we'll check, and then we'll see if we got the figure we want. Then consider if we go down anymore. If we're lacking the muscle mass, it might be a point to stop, because again, I don't want to be looking like really skinny. And then we can focus on later in the year building muscle, putting the muscle on, and then doing the 2K club again, maybe next January. But we've got a lot of road ahead of us, so there's no point sort of planning that far. We want to see what the changes are and what the effects are when we compare to the scans. Right, guys. Peace out. See you tomorrow. Guys, we're here with a morning log for day 12 of the 2K Club Challenge. Today, how was I feeling? I woke up feeling alright, actually. I got a good 8 hours sleep. That felt good. I haven't been feeling any massive aches in my muscles. I was worried yesterday from a session. I may have pulled something in my shoulder. You sort of, when you finish a set or something and you just go, oof, yeah, am I going to feel that later? But we've come out alright. No problems there. Legs feel a bit stiff, because basically almost every class we're training legs in some capacity, through squats, lunges, or these kinds of things. But when I first started, it was actually kind of hard. Like my legs, they were constantly sort of hurting. But to be fair, since we're using much lower weights than what I was used to do when I was squatting on a squat rack, I've had some of the other exercises I did. A lot of the exercises I did prior to this was with following the Buff Dudes YouTube channel. They're a great bunch of guys. You should definitely go check them out if that's your thing. They a lot of the stuff they talked about helped me get to the base of where I was before I started this challenge, and it was because I wanted to push myself a bit further and I needed a bit more help, and I figured professional trainers would be able to help me get over the hump where I was hitting plateaus on my weights and stuff. I just wanted somebody just to give me a bit more guidance so I could take a step past where I've been stuck. But yeah, so general mood was good. No problems with work. Just been sorting all that out this morning. I'm actually cooking my food right now, so we're going to be good real soon to tuck in and get that in. We've got some more chicken thighs and parsnips, of course, followed by an evening meal of avocado and chicken. So all in all planned, should be trying to aim to hit for that 2200 calories deficit. Sorry, 2200 calories in, and then we're going to be looking to burn off around 2800 calories to give us over 500. It's close to a 500 deficit as we can do. I'm actually really struggling when I get to around 11 o'clock. That I am so unbelievably hungry when I get to that point. Like, that's when the hunger hits. I had a little bit of you feel that sort of blood sugar low today, but part of that is actually we're past 11 o'clock and I was running behind because I've been working on stuff and I kind of didn't start dinner early enough. And this is one of the problems with no processed food or having basically cooking everything yourself, is it takes a lot more time to prepare. So yeah, something to consider: meal prepping, or whether or not you want to take snacks and how you want to do it. But I stepped on the scale today and that was pretty shocking. I triple checked it. I was 74.7 kilograms, which is my weight's dropping a bit faster than I was aiming for, but at the same time, as long as we're sticking within those 500 calorie deficits, I'm not going to worry too much about it. My weights haven't been going down in the gym at all. In fact, I've been pushing myself to pick up heavier ones. It's just little things like I mentioned yesterday, trying to make sure that my forearms are strong enough so I can actually do chest presses with a kettlebell instead of Alexa, stop. So that's a timer for food, so I need to actually jump off and take care of that. But yeah, like I was just saying with the wrist and stuff, it was just a case of getting used to these different types of exercises, because obviously you don't have that same kind of, you don't have the kettlebell like resting on your wrist when you're trying to bench press, and I'm generally nowhere near going squatting at the pace that I am doing with body development in their classes using the timings and stuff and aiming for the rep ranges when I'm in a regular gym. Anyway, guys, before my food goes bad, I'm going to go sort that out and I'll show you guys exactly what we're going to be eating in just a second. Okay, guys, this is meal one for the day. We have 427 grams of turkey thigh, and we have 176 grams of parsnips and 25 grams of dark chocolate. Pretty much following on the theme for this week. I bought like a whole bunch of the stuff and it's just coming out really, really well on the calories. Like, this is 1,050 calories. And I'll give a full rundown at the end of the day, because funny enough, I've got that written down in MyFitnessPal, which is on the phone I'm recording with. So can't look that up right this second, but yeah, around just over 1,000 calories, probably actually 1,100 when you add in the chocolate. And this is going to bring us up most of the way to our goal, about halfway. Well, one meal, halfway is pretty good. So we're going to eat this and enjoy it. And I'll catch up with you guys with meal two a little later on. Guys, this is meal two that we have here. So this is about 180 grams of new potatoes. We have one chicken thigh coming at about 176 grams. And we got 350 grams of mini chicken fillet and 25 grams of dark chocolate. So we're not going to have the avocado because our total calories, because we had the last chicken thigh left in the fridge. I'm going away this weekend. I kind of like, it was an eat or a chuck it kind of thing, and it was either this or the avocado. And to be honest, the avocados are kind of a little bit bad, so I figured I'd just go with the chicken. So yeah, this brings our total calories up to, I think it's about 2,100. I'll confirm at the end of the day when I do the readings. But yeah, pretty good range, just bang on target where we want to be. And yeah, then that just about uses everything I had in the fridge. So since I'll be away, I'll be eating similar food. But yeah, next week we'll try a different supermarket and we'll do a cost comparison. All right, guys, catch you for the wrap up. Hey guys, we're here for a day 12 wrap up of the 2K Club at Body Development. Today, pretty good day overall. We ate a total of 2,247 calories. Pretty good. It's exactly what we're targeting, is around the 2,200 range based on what we've burned off before. Pretty easy to get to. The meals weren't too big and I'm not feeling too hungry afterwards, so that's all been pretty good. What I am finding though is with these meals that I feel a lot hungrier the next day if chicken was my main source of protein. I'm finding that pork or steak, I wasn't feeling hungry, or it was taking a lot longer to digest that and really feel the effect of the hunger. But you know, it's not to a level where I can't do anything or I'm going mad to the point where I'm going to break the fast just to have a snack. Our activity today, we burned 560 calories actually doing the workout, and we burned a further 200 walking in total. So yeah, no, all in all, a pretty successful day. Our total calories out as of this moment, it's a bit earlier than I usually shoot these, so it's 2,386 calories out. That only leaves us at a deficit of 139, but we know that we burn about 100 an hour when we're just at home, so we're around 6:30 now, so by the time we get to midnight it should be about 400 calories, give or take, which will bring us just over that 500 mark, which is exactly what we're shooting for. Today's workout was upper body weights, mainly focusing on various styles of curls, also triceps. Something that I'm noticing is that my triceps get tired way faster than my biceps, and I find that my kickbacks, whenever I'm trying to do those, I'm not doing them at the same weight as my curls. And in terms of development, the coach was essentially saying that you should be able to do roughly the same weight one way, so the same weight with the curls, the same weight with the triceps. I can do a lot more on the curls than I can do the triceps, which just shows it's a bit of an imbalance. I just need to work on it and keep practicing, and don't feel shame just putting the weight down on that when I know I can't get it, because it's just like, if you don't train the muscle, it's not going to get any. You're not going to get any stronger. So yeah, I'd say today's a success. I'll know for sure after I get to the end of the day and I check the stats for the previous. So heads up, for Saturday I'm away, so I won't get a proper vlog in tomorrow, but what I will do is I'll take pictures of the food and I'll include it with the Sunday weekly wrap up. We're not going to be working out at all over the weekend, so much more calorie light days. We're looking for about 1888 calories total in order to maintain, and then we should by the end of this week come out a deficit of 500 or more. Ideally as close to 500 as possible. 700, anything over 700 I'd be a little bit concerned with as our average, but based on the fact we've been doing this every day, I think we're pretty close. We only had that one day where we had about 1,000 out, but it's gonna be okay. So yeah, that's gonna be me signing out for today, and we'll be back on Sunday for, what's that going to be, day 14, for day 14, and then I'll do a little bit of wrap up of anything that came up on the Saturday, but I'm not expecting anything major, to be honest, unless I have like a complete mental breakdown, in which case you can see my Leave Brittany Alone video on here. That said, I'm gonna head off now. I hope you guys have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time you're watching this, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hey guys, we're here for a day 14 wrap up of the week. I'm also going to include some of the stuff that we did yesterday on Saturday, because I couldn't make some vlogs then. So you're getting a day 13, 14 all grouped together essentially into one video. Overall, fantastic week. The weekend I was away, so it was a little bit tricky in terms of like making sure you maintain your diet and stuff. There's always a temptation to just eat some takeaway, or like eat whatever your friends are eating or people that you're with. And if it's something that you're really very strict about, you just kind of have to have that sense of, this is what I'm doing, this is for me, and then sort of make an arrangement. So you don't want to put people out too much. I love being cooked for whenever I go away, but the thing is, it's just for the purpose of keeping this as a clean run on the 2K Club. I really want to make sure that I'm sticking exactly to the letter of what I'm going for in my goals. So my general mood yesterday, I arrived pretty late on Friday to where I was heading to, and what ended up happening was Saturday morning I had to go run to the shop and grab a few things. Went to an Asda. I'll go through the breakdown of the prices and everything I spent this week in just a little bit, and grab some more food. And by the time getting used to using someone else's oven and stuff, it got to around 2 p.m. before I actually started eating. So it was a lot later than usual because on the Friday I'd eaten it around 5 o'clock. So that was almost a 21-hour fast at that point, and I was like really low on energy. Like I was struggling to do anything at that point. I was like sort of past the point where I just kind of want to get up and I wanted to go out and do anything. I just wanted to sort of sit around, and I was a bit grumpy, to be honest. It was kind of hard to be in a good mood, but I ate up. The meal was slightly different, so we ate pork belly and avocado, and well, actually, no, on the Saturday, the first meal, I'll put it up on the screen so you can see photos of it, but it was new potatoes and pork belly. And then the second meal was chicken, no, it was chicken and potatoes, and then pork belly on its own. And then there was pork belly and avocado and potatoes for meal free on Sunday. And then to wrap up the week, I actually didn't have a second meal today. The only thing I ate was 29 grams of 90% dark chocolate. So I was a little bit under today on calories for what we were aiming for. But all in all, we managed to stick to our goals. We're not very active over the weekends. We just do a bit of walking. So we try not to eat quite as much as we do during the week. With that said, let's go through some stats for this week, and we can see how we compare. So total calories in was 14,612. That gives us an average of 2,087 calories per day. Ideally, on days working out where the average burns about 2,800, sorry, want to be aiming for more like 2,300 to keep in that 500 range. But overall, it works out this week. But when I go for it all, it'll make sense. Our total calories out was 18,737. That gave us an average total burn of 2,676 calories. Our total deficit was 4,125, which is above the goal of our deficit of 3,500. And our average deficit was 589 calories a day, so almost bang on. Now, it is about 10 o'clock here, so probably another 200 calories burned, so the average is going to slip a little bit, probably a tiny bit closer to 600, so just eating a tiny bit more, probably would have got there if I'd have ate a second meal today. Our weigh-in today, our target was 75.3 kilos in weight. We actually weighed in at 74.3, so that was a kilo and a quarter almost as a drop. So that's a lot faster than I wanted to drop it. As I said, I was aiming to do about half a kilo a week, but all in all, it's not as big a drop as we went from week 1 up to week 2. That was a much harsher drop. So overall, pretty successful. That's 163 pounds, 0.8 pounds for any US watchers. Our total breakdown in terms of macros was carbs was about 17%, about 2% over what I wanted to go for. Fat made up 52%, which was a lot higher than I'd normally go for. It's very calorie dense. Protein was about 31%. I was eating about 163 grams on average about 164 grams on average of protein. So all in all, in terms of like for recommended amounts of protein, 1 gram per pound of body mass, I was pretty much on target for that. Our total shopping bill, we went to Marks and Spencer's and we got ourselves food for 5 days. And then we went to Asda and grabbed just some food over the weekend. Our total bill came out to £35.38, and that breaks down to 413.82 calories per pound, which is insane. When there's plenty of meal plans, it would be 500 calorie meals, almost getting that for a pound, and quite a wide variety of on my macros were getting in there. It felt pretty good, and it's also worth pointing out that I still have 500 grams of parsnips and 400 grams of potatoes. So next 2 days, I'm generally sorted in terms of what I need for my carb sources. So that's going to carry over and reduce a little bit of next week's bill. We also have we got another bar and a half of dark chocolate as well. So we're about good for another 3 days of dark chocolate, which is, hey, you can't complain. And I also have one more avocado. I got a new one. I did end up throwing one out because it went bad. So a couple of things that I can work on when I buy avocados from the next place. I'm only going to buy 4 days worth. That seems to be the maximum. The sweet spot is about day 2 or 3 on the avocados, depending on which ones you find in the store. But anything more than 4 days, they're no good, so it's just not worth getting. We consumed a lot of fat, like the pork belly on the weekend. Incredibly calorie dense. It was like £3.50 for like 1,800 calories worth of food, but it is like the majority of it is fat. And the key thing there is the amount of protein I'm eating has gone down a little bit lower than I wanted it to. And I don't mind eating the pork strips. It was pretty hard on the day where I just ate the meal where I just ate the pork and the pork belly and the chocolate. That was very difficult to eat it all, and I don't know. It's something I probably wouldn't get again, like to have as a couple of meals. Chicken thighs, I'm absolutely all in on these chicken thighs. They're cheap, they're calorie dense, great source of protein in there. It's pretty good. It kind of like, I don't know why, because it's chicken on the bone. It's kind of fulfilling my KFC urge because I absolutely love KFC. When it comes to junk food, fast food, KFC is like one of my biggest weaknesses. I love the fried chicken. So we'll definitely be getting some more of chicken thighs next week. And for the other meats, we'll probably look at chicken and pork again. I'm going to be avoiding steak overall. Like our shopping bill was less than half, and we actually doubled the amount of calories per pound. So really, this is like almost. So this is going to be some bro math, but essentially, like I doubled the value, my buying power in terms of calories with my money by changing up the types of things that I was getting. Of course, steak, very, very cost inefficient. It tastes delicious. I really enjoy steak, but overall, if you're trying to do this on a budget, not so great, not so great. So other things from this weekend. So traveling up, usually throughout all of this, I've not mentioned before in my videos, I'm not touching any, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, I can't remember. I'm not touching any of the heating in my house. I've left it off, and we're in the middle of winter. So I do live in a block of flats. So I get some heat from the other apartments. I just put on some more layers if I get cold, but the average temperature in my flat is staying just below 18 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Mickey Mouse temperature. I'll put that on the screen when I get to editing. Right now, actually, in my apartment, it's 16.3 degrees Celsius in here. So it's just got that chill. It's not like to the point where I'm shivering. Like if I start shivering, then yeah, sure, I'm going to whack the heating on. But we're saving some money on the bills, and also in the book that I'm reading, which is 2 meals a day, it suggests that being cold can help stimulate a fat burning hormones in your body to sort of just burn for energy. So we're testing that. We're pretty much testing everything in there and seeing what the results are. And so far, the weight drop has been incredible. I just really want to make sure I haven't lost muscle mass doing this. My weights have not really gone down. In fact, in some cases, I pushed myself, put some of my weights up. Next week is rush week for body development. So that means trying to push yourself for your best possible workout. So we are going to be trying to do more of our weights. We're going to be trying to up ourselves to about the 16 kilos on our goblet squats for the circuits that we're doing, and our lunges. We'll be trying that. We'll also up our chest presses, and for our push-ups, we're going to start making those a little bit harder. We're going to be lifting 1 foot off the ground, and we're going to do that until we can't do anymore, and then then we'll go to regular push-ups, and when we can't do that anymore, we'll then go to our knees. It's kind of a progression. You start with the hardest way of doing it, and then you just keep sort of decreasing the difficulty until to get through the whole session. And I'm not sure if I can quite get to the point where I'm going to be able to reliably do sets of push-ups with one leg out to the side. It throws my balance off a little bit, and it burns me out so fast that when I'm trying to get through the whole circuit of what we're doing for the exercises, I'll find myself getting to like maybe round 2 halfway through, and then I'll already be dropping to my knees. So it's burning me out just a little bit too fast, and I don't know if that's correct or not. I guess it's just something we'll learn over time. But we're all booked in for our classes. It's another week. We bring this up to, by the time next time we do one of these, it'll be day 21. Our initial weigh-in was 79.5 kilograms, as I keep stating in these videos. That was at the end of the day, so we've got maybe a 2 kilo fluctuation on that. So if we took 2 kilos off of that, we've dropped from essentially 77.5 down to 74.3 in just 2 weeks. Or if you just want to take the original measurements, we've dropped like 5.2 kilos in 2 weeks, which is like 10, just over 10 pounds worth of weight that we've dropped in 2 weeks, which is mad. That's a lot. When you take a look at a model of like how much 2 kilograms of fat is, it's like more than a handful. It would fit like more than this, like in your hands. Like it's a big like yellow thing. You can Google and take a look at some pictures, but really disgusting. And that's hopefully what we're burning. We've been sticking very well to like using no oils. We're not using any refined grains. We're not using any sugars, processed sugars. I mean, there might be a little bit in the chocolates. It just says a little bit of sugar in the on the packaging. But a key thing with that is that we are eating around 85% dark chocolate. So the majority of it is cocoa, and it's not like massively sugary. It's just a tiny little bit, and we're only drinking water. And the weight just seems to be falling off at the moment. Like I'm feeling really good about that. I'm really hoping on the scans that I haven't lost muscle mass. But if our weights are going up and our overall weight is coming down, I'm really excited to see what our body fat percentage is going to be. Remember when we started this challenge, we were 23%. Our ultimate goal, well, our first pit stop is 15, and then we'll try and get down lower than that so we can get our fully visible abs in time for summer. But even when I look in the mirror now, I'm starting to notice changes. Like I'm not sucking, you know, guys, when you suck your gut in, you know, just to sort of hold your shape, and I don't really have to do that to hold my shape at all anymore, which is, yeah, it's kind of a relaxing and kind of nice little thing. Like you're not feeling that tension in your stomach. Like some, I don't know actually if it's like, if there's studies out there showing that it's unhealthy, that if you constantly try and hold your gut in to try and hold your shape, because you know you want to look good when you're walking around, you don't want people seeing your dad bod hanging out. Maybe I'm just one of those people who cares just a little bit too much. But it's, yeah, I don't need to at the moment. I'm going to take my photos for the comparison for progress tomorrow. I want to do it first thing in the morning in the same position that I always do it with my other photographs. This way it just remains a bit consistent. Some things to mention. Yeah, my skin, I've had a few breakouts, a little bit on my shoulder and on my chest. I think that's actually partly because when I travel in my car, I'm a nightmare for having my radiator on quite warm, because my car I tend to go from cold to hot and kind of juggle between those two. And I think overall, just any kind of like central heating and stuff like that, it kind of messes my skin up. Or it might be some of the fabrics I'm wearing. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I had some. I'm not going to edit the photos that I'll put up for reference. You'll see them here on the screen, like, because ultimately I want you guys to be able to take a look and sort of see, like, and make judgments for yourself. Is my diet affecting that? If it's something that you struggle with, if you don't struggle with it, obviously it's not a thing. But I want this to be like a real honest whole experience for training, because you guys should see the pretty parts, the bad parts, because it's all about the journey, and you need to see that it is possible for these changes. Or I go through all this and I don't get the body I want, and then you can just sort of like make your own judgments. Oh, maybe a lot of this stuff that we try or are recommended to is crap. Yeah, maybe it's just not true at all. Maybe there's different things that you need to be doing. Maybe you're supposed to be doing a full keto diet. We'll find out. We're taking very harsh restrictions. We're taking it very seriously. We're halfway through January, so for our first month, and ultimately, if I continue at this current rate and I haven't lost muscle mass, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to hit my target a lot faster than May. And I was pretty sure that I would get finished by May. I thought it would take me about 5 months. I was like looking at, okay, so half a kilo a week, going to drop this much. We're looking to lose this much body fat when we did our original math. And it's looking, we're dropping a lot faster. We just have to keep an eye on it and make sure we're not losing muscles. Yeah, so for a wrap up, what's on the agenda for next week? Just more training. I'm not traveling away next weekend, so we'll just get a full bunch of vlogs. And yeah, just regular working hours. Should be good, working from home. Gonna be trying to make sure we get to bed a lot more on time. I need to be much better at this. I need to stop looking at TikTok, social media, and messing around on my phone. There's been too many nights this week where I went to bed at 12 or 1 o'clock, and it's not good enough. I need to be getting to bed at around 11, and I want to be getting up. Tomorrow I want to get up pretty early because I want to go to Asda, essentially do a week's worth of shopping there, and the nearest one to me is quite far away. Maybe Asda's a little bit of a pain to do on a Monday morning. I could go to Lidl. I also want to try going to a butcher's and grabbing meat at some point as well. Technically, I could do the butcher's just tomorrow, actually. I think they open pretty early and they're pretty close to me in Bath. I just need to figure out exactly what I'm going to be getting and then do a price comparison. The only difficulty with going to a butcher's is you don't have the barcode to scan on MyFitnessPal. So I'm going to have to look up to see what information people have just basically entered themselves, try and find something that lines up. So the calories are going to be a little bit different, but I think overall the value and quality of the food will be a bit better coming from a butcher's. At least that's my assumption. There's also farm shops and that I could be trying, or some of the super healthy local farm places where it'd be essentially, oh, we've just done everything locally and we've not used all of these chemicals, we've not fed everything these refined grains. And yeah, so actually, you know what, maybe tomorrow instead of going to Asda, I'll go to a butcher's and we'll pick up our meals for the week. It's going to be a little bit harder to calculate because obviously when I look at the packaging I can then figure out roughly how many calories per meal we're going to be looking at. But if I'm looking to pick up chicken thighs, chicken breast and pork, I can definitely do it. And you know, if we give ourselves a budget of around £30, I reckon that's going to see us through most of it. And then we'll just have to swing by Sainsbury's and pick up some avocados, essentially, just to add in with that. We've already got 2 days worth of carbs sorted with what's left over from last week. We've got a bar and a half of chocolate, so that's 3 days worth of dark chocolate. When I go to Sainsbury's, I'll probably pick up just a few bars to add to that. We were eating 85% over the weekend. I grabbed 90% dark chocolate. I am going to take it up now that I know I can handle the taste. If I could find 100%, I'd eat that. But at the moment, 90% seems to be the highest that I can find. So that's the plan. We're going to stick to it. We're going to keep working out. We're going to really push ourselves next week. So you're probably going to see me very, very burnt out a little bit from workouts. And then we'll check in and see what our data is. But all in all, guys, we're off to a great start. This is, I couldn't ask for a better position to be in, and we'll just keep riding the scale down and hoping that that's coming out on body fat. And if it's not, and we do our scans and we're losing muscle mass, we're gonna correct that. We're gonna talk to our PTs. We're gonna start eating more, and we're gonna try and drop that weight a little bit slower. All right, guys, that's everything from me for this week 2 of the 2K challenge, and I'm gonna catch up with you tomorrow. So